In our last video, we went over burner teams, the introductory level 4 Anomic missions that scared me for 12 years, but it turns out they were so easy I almost fell asleep and I had nothing to fear, at least not until we get to the Anomic missions that burner teams told us not to worry about. No. I survived, and I'm going to share with you how to reap the rewards for these burner agents, the next tier of difficulty for Anomic missions. EVE Online is too big to explore alone. Let's explore it together. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Lynn Rankin. I've spent a long time in New Eden, and I'm here to share what I've learned and continue to learn in this amazing game we call EVE. In this video, we're going to cover all 5 of the burner agents, what fits you need, the skills you need, and how to handle each of the different enemies: the Guristas, the Angel, the Blood Raider, the Serpentis, and the Sansha agents. Now let's jump in. The fits and strategies used in this video have been tried and tested for over a decade, and they still work even today. We're going to cover each one holistically. That means in each section, we're going to cover the fit and the strategy for each agent and then get straight into applying that theory. So let's get started with our first contender, the Gurista. The Gurista agent we will be facing off with is a worm, and it does something that not many AI tend to do, or at least not very well. Its entire goal is to kite you instead of the other way around. For this, we will be using an Enyo. We can tank him fairly well with our setup, but not forever if we have to continue chasing him down. We need to use our micro warp drive, and after we use it once, overheat it twice to get up to him in order to scram him and turn his MWD off. After that, it's a walk in the park. On our Enyo fit, we have neutron blasters, a rocket launcher, cap rechargers, a nice MWD, and compact scrambler, and then a faction armor rep and some overdrive injectors and thruster rigs. This will give us the speed boost that we need in order to take him on. As far as skills go, we want to make sure that our capacitor skills, propulsion, thermodynamics, and armor repair skills are high up there, and Tech 2 weapons. Every little bit will help with these burner agents. Really good fitting skills will also be needed, though you can supplement this with fitting implants if things are just a little too tight. When we arrive, the worm will be at about 50 kilometers behind us and then start burning and orbiting us at 3.5 kilometers a second, hovering around 30 kilometers from us. We need to immediately start approaching him and turn on our MWD to build up some acceleration first. Once the first cycle is almost over, then we overheat our MWD for 2 cycles. That should put you within scram range of the worm. Once scrammed, you can turn off the heat on your MWD and get to work. You can also turn your MWD off as well. The damage comes in very slow from the worm, and it will take a decent chunk out of you because of the high alpha strike. But your armor wrapper is more than enough to recover your armor before the next strike hits. Start doing some damage and take him out. He does not take long to kill, about 2 minutes here. And the ISK starts to build up pretty quick with multiple burners per hour. All burner agents themselves are worth 5 million ISK in bounty, and with max social skills in a 0.5 system, the mission is worth 5 million additional ISK and about 20 million ISK in loyalty points after converting it by 1600 ISK per LP, the number we've been using for the last couple videos. The Angel Cartel agent in the Dramiel was the first burner agent I ever took on, and like you saw in the intro, I didn't do too good and it almost ended in disaster because I mismanaged quite a few things. So hopefully watching this, you'll learn from my mistakes and can avoid near death in the future. For this mission, we'll be using the Daredevil, primarily because of its web bonus, which we'll need to slow down the Dramiel for our weapons to track. The only blingy parts on this is the armor repper and the resistance hardeners, but these are absolutely necessary when facing off against the Dramiel. With our cap booster, we are cap stable so long as we keep up and use a cap charge every time it becomes available. For skills, even though we have a cap booster, you still want to make sure you have good capacitor skills, armor repair skills, thermodynamics, and enough skills to lower the capacitor need of the stasis web. Like all the fits and strategies for the rest of the video, T2 weapons are absolutely needed for the extra damage, except for the case for the Nurgle, but we'll get to that. We don't need to worry about going anywhere, so we don't need a prop mod, since the Dramiel will be right on top of us. Before we enter the arena, at the acceleration gate, we need to pre-overheat one of our explosive hardeners. turn on the other hardener and have it running, then take the acceleration gate. Right before you finish your warp, turn on the preheated explosive hardener and turn on your armor repper. The damage will come in quick and you need that extra overheated resist. The Dramiel will charge right at you and try to stay as close as possible. Lock him and web him down with both of your webbers. Then keep the Dramiel at 1,000 meters away and then put in as much damage as you can, heating your weapons once they start applying pretty well. Watch your capacitor and watch your heat to finish off the Dramiel. If your tank starts to break, before you overheat your armor repper, overheat the other resistance module. It might stabilize you long enough to take out the Dramiel. And that's how you take on the Dramiel. Hey, really quick, I notice only about 20% of you are subscribed. If you enjoy what you're learning here, I'd really appreciate the subscribe. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you could help make that happen. Next we have the Blood Raider, and for this we will be using the Nurgle, the Triglavian Assault Frigate. Like before, make sure you have good weapon skills, armor repair, fitting, webbing, and capacitor skills. One thing you will want to make sure is you have good EM compensation skills to maximize your EM tank. Like I alluded to, the Nurgle is the one exception, and we have a faction entropic disintegrator on our ship. This is just because it is by far the best, as well as it works within our tight fitting requirements. Capacitor skills are going to be very important on this fit, since the enemy Cruor will be nuding us the entire time, and we need to make sure that our Nurgle's capacitor regeneration is above 18 gigajoules per second to not get ourselves nuded. You notice I have 15.6. This is because I have capacitor implants that I have for the Blood Raider base, a future video, but while I have two 5% implants, you only need one. Without the implants, my Nurgle gets 12.6 gigajoules of cap regeneration, which is not enough, but I'll get to that. So with the implants, I have 15.6. That means I'm in danger, right? Not really, because I have a sensor cap battery, and all cap batteries give a resistance to the nuding effects. Since the Cruor deals 18 gigajoules of nuding per second, and the sensor cap battery has a 25% resistance, this means it is only delivering 13.5 gigajoules of nuding compared to my 15.6 gigajoules of regeneration. This means I'm cap stable. Now, like I mentioned, you need to have at least one of these implants. You need either the EM805 capacitor implant or the EO605 capacitor implant. You need both of them for the Blood Raider base, but for the Blood Raider agent, you only need one of them. With my skills and only one of the implants, my cap regeneration is at least 14 gigajoules, which is still enough to not get capped out. When you enter the site, the Cruor will start nuding and attacking you. You need to web him down as quickly as possible and start applying damage. You have drones, but don't deploy them just yet. We will, just not yet. Once the Cruor is slowed down and you are applying damage and repairing against his damage, then you can deploy your drones for the extra DPS. We waited to deploy them so we have the enemy focused on us and not on any of our drones. The Cruor can attack our drones, so be ready to pull them in if you see them take any damage. After 2 minutes or so, the Cruor should be dead. Next is the Serpentis agent, the Daredevil. This one will require a lot of overheating and shield tanking, so make sure you have your thermodynamic and shield skills up to par. We have a cap booster on our Hawk, so while capacitor skills will be nice, having them at a decent level won't interfere with the performance very much. The Daredevil will start off right next to us and then immediately start trying to pull range on you. Working quickly and with both of your webs, the Daredevil should be orbiting you at around 11 kilometers, well within your missile range. You only need to overheat your webs for a short time to make sure that you're able to catch and slow down the Daredevil and bring him into range. Make sure you are approaching the Daredevil and then start applying damage. You should be able to tank the Daredevil fairly easily, and with your capacitor booster, you shouldn't be in any danger of capping out as long as you don't dilly-dally. 4 agents down, 1 to go. Bring on the Sansha.
We are the Borg.
For the Sansha succubus, we'll be using our Daredevil again. But I recommend having a separate Daredevil since the fits are different and you don't want to keep breaking rigs just to do this and the Dramiel missions. For the Sansha agent, you will want to make sure that you have good armor repair skills, capacitor skills, and navigation skills in addition to the normal Tech 2 weapons. The strategy is this. For this mission, you will want to pre-overheat your web and one of your EM hardeners. You have an afterburner to chase down the succubus since it will start burning away from you at very high speeds. Once you enter the arena, you keep the succubus at 2,000 meters. Turn on your afterburner and web down the enemy. The succubus will immediately start trying to pull range on you in orbit at 17 kilometers. If you're quick enough, like I was, you can instantly get a web on the succubus and hold him down rather than chasing him. He will still try to pull range, and we'll need to use our afterburner to get close enough to deal damage, but this should be relatively straightforward from here. Like I alluded to earlier, here's a tip for all of the burner agents when you have armor or shield hardeners. If I told you to heat only one module but your tank isn't holding, before you overheat your repper, you will want to overheat your other hardener to see if that will get your health stable. The cycle time on the hardeners is long enough that the heat damage is delayed for a time, unlike the faster rep cycles. And there you go, overheat your blasters and take out the succubus. The Sansha agent is dead as well. All of the fits will be down in the description for you. Again, each of these burner agents provide a total converted value of 30 million ISK before faction drops. From a financial perspective, I do recommend you start with the Enyo for the worm mission and move your way on up since these fits can start getting very expensive. At the time of this video, the Enyo fit used against the worm is worth 120 million ISK and is the cheapest entry point for burner agents, while you save up for the other fits. The Daredevil used for the Dramiel is 375 million ISK as of this video, and the other ships range between 450 and 600 million ISK each. Now we will get to it in a future video, but there is a Nurgle fit that can be used for all 5 burner agents, but it is at least 2 billion ISK. Like I mentioned for the Nurgle, you are looking at an extra 120 million ISK for either a slot 8 capacitor management EM805 or a slot 6 EO605. It may be worth it to you to have both for future Blood Raider base runs. These burners are no joke, and neither should your fit. We have one more series of missions left to go in the Anomic category. Anomic bases, including the dreaded Garistas base, a mission where you face down a super carrier, and this takes so long and is so tedious most people choose to skip this one. But I'm going to cover it anyway in a future video so you know how to take it on and judge for yourself. Subscribe so you don't miss it. If you missed out on how to do the burner teams and cheese it with a 10 million ISK Kestrel, check out this video on screen. Consider liking, subscribing, and using my creator codes in the description to show your support. Thank you to my amazing YouTube and Patreon members, and welcome to our newest members. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye now.